What's up, everyone? It is the long-awaited blue-yellow owl abyss summoning deck. I want to give a shout out to my fellow RCX team member and Sensei Austin Summers. He is the one. He is the one that really helped me out with this deck and came up with a really just solid deck list. Anyway, let's get into it. So the this resources. This is night. Moving on, it is going to be 4 Shadow of Hades. Shadow Hades is a first of all, it's an owl, which is kind of important. Anyway, his on enter effect, but also his counter effect is called something of the underworld. Underworld Pawn. You can summon a level 0 owl from your graveyard back to your field. So this helps you put 2 bodies on board for the cost of 3. And a lot of the owls, as you see, we're going to play are really heavy on the HP side. So what's great about him is like if he opens up, if your center gets opened up and you get damage checked, you can go hit another owl and summon to your defensive zone to eat another attack. Or if he's fat enough to just block an attack. Or if that's the last attack and the last damage, you can summon it to the side to put another body on board. So, I like him. The other level 3 we play is going to be White Dragon of Wells. He also has an on-enter effect. He's also a counter. He's a 6/4/2. And his effect is called... Nope. Not pronouncing that. Anyway, when you play him or when you damage check him, you can heal a level 1 or lower owl as well. So he's basically a heal 2 in a sense. Because if you damage check, let's say, damage check nothing, damage check an owl, damage check him, he heals that and he heals the other card. So it helps you stay in the game longer. So let's talk about some of these owls. I don't know how to pronounce his name. He was called Dokofar on the fan translation. I'm always going to call him Dokofar. He's a 1/4/1. That is fat. Anyway, his effect, he can alter himself when it's time to use him for Abyssal Summoning. So you can treat him as count as 2 cards. Or you can make his level change into anything you need him to change into. I'll explain that a little bit later when I go into the actual Abyss Summoning. Next up for my owls, another level 0 owl, also has 4 HP, but has 2 attack and 1 crit, is Banshee, just a vanilla. Next up, Panzer Marines for more resource fixing. 3 Jack the Ripper, when it kills something, you can mill 2 cards and let me fill up my drop zone for stuff. Alright, time to get into the actual Abyss Summoners. I played 3, I think it's called Johann Enthralled Prodigy. He's not a darkness, unfortunately, but he is a level 1, so I can play him on the cheap side. And I can do Abyss Summoning. For those who don't know what an Abyss Summoning is, you take a card with Abyss Summoning, and you can take a card that's already in your drop zone with Abyssal Concerto. If your opponent doesn't have a response, you put this in the graveyard. You target the card with Abyssal Concerto. Fulfill its conditions. In this card's instance, its condition is to move 3 darkness cards from your graveyard on the bottom of your deck. Then you can play him. And that's how you do an Abyssal Summoning. But anyway, moving on to the other Abyss Summoner I play in the deck. I only play 3. What is your name? Abyssal Conductor. I'm not trying to pronounce that name. He is a 3/2/1. He is a darkness with a touchdown effect. His effect is to mill 1 card. You good?
There's a countdown.
Oh, I didn't notice that. 3/2/1. It's like, okay. Shush, Sean. He is a darkness. So let's say, for example, if you only got like 2 darkness cards, not including him in your graveyard, you want to do an Abyssal Summon. When you send him to the graveyard, then you target. you can use him as part of the cost to fulfill the Abyssal Concerto's requirement. So he's pretty good, but he's level 2, and this deck's more about being defensive. Like when I play Knight, I play naturally defensive because I'm like, I don't got time for Apprentice players and Highlander players. They just like to have the power of God and anime on their side, and they like to unga bunga the fuck out of you. And I just want time for that bullshit. But anyway, moving on. I played 2 Vampire Commando Levon. He just got 2 crits. He's on the cheap side, level 1. He's also an owl, so that's another requirement for the White Dragon. And then he has Clairvoyance, which is just check the top card of your deck and put it on top or bottom. Next up, I only played 2 Victorious Rex. It's neat to end the turn. I don't want him to clog me as much. When I see him in my graveyard, when I mill him off Dr. Ripper, or when I just damage check him because he's a counter, so instead of going to the damage, he's going to go into the graveyard. This he'll just be there. He also has 7/7/2. He's pretty fat. He cannot go into the defense zone, so it's like there's no point in playing a lot of copies of him. His Abyss Concerto conditions is to put 5 darkness cards on the bottom of your deck, and then when you Abyssal summon him, you can pop 1 card on your opponent's side of the field, so even sets, and then you can heal 1. The card I'm going to be healing most likely is Captain Liberty if I damage check it. Like I said, if you play blue, you kind of always want to be on Captain Liberty. I do play 1 Nosferatu Soldier because it's like once it hits the drop zone, it's just there. So it's like sometimes I do need a cheap attacker. He can't go into the defensive zone. So it's like, it's whatever. Now, some people do want to play 2 of this, so you could cut a Levon out for another copy of his. Dealer's choice at that point. This is just what I'm doing. I'm moving on to the, that's it for the units. Moving on to the events. Playing 4 Flying Shield. Reduces damage by 2 to me or an ally unit. So sometimes if I'm trying to Abyss something, they're trying to pop it, I can go ahead and flip this over to reduce that damage they're trying to pop it by. So I can go ahead and keep doing my Abyssal Summon play. For the exact same reason, that's why we play just a Flesh Wound. Well, also what I want to say as well is those level 4s in the center, these cards are just meant to protect them. Because you just want to annoy your opponent by just trying to keep that little level 4 alive. And just keep trying to tank out and not take damage. You always need some kind of removal on your counter lineup. So I play 3 of the Buster Clothesline. Just deal 6 damage to a unit. Next up is 3 Shield of Shoshana. Oh wait, this is not what it's called. It's called Sharsana's Divine Shield. So I can pay 1, block a ruler's attack at me. So basically block 3 damage. Also, its counter effect is if I'm at 4 or less life, so 7 or more damage, I get to heal another card with it. So it helps me stay alive in the game. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. Last card I play is 1, I almost called the card Mirror Force. Blaze Vortex. Flip it over for 2. It's a legendary. When an enemy unit attacks, you can blow up all units in their attacking zones. So not the defensive zone. So it's for Yu-Gi-Oh players, it's just like Mirror Force. Anyway, that is it for the Abyss Summoning deck profile. Gate closed.